Oh, you're sitting down already. Oh,
I am.
all right. I didn't even get to hype myself up for this today.
Oh, we already have people watching. Hi, guys. Coach Wolverine and Coach Cologne at you with another conversation over drinks. Today we are doing a separate video again because my girlfriend's feeling under the weather, so we just figured it'd be best to
Play
do
tape.
not contaminate. He's doing a ice shower again today, and I am sitting in the nice, wet, rainy snow. So that is where we're at now. All right, my man. It's go time.
All right. Well, so there's a ton of like sayings you'll see in people that are trying to be motivating or they're doing their fitness thing, and it's like trust the process and like you gotta show up all the time, battle, grind, whatever. All of these things, cool and all, like they're all coming from the right place. They're all coming from a place that's trying to like inspire others. But the thing is, as someone who's been showing up to the gym for a long time, there's a lot more to it than just like gotta show up. That's where it all starts, and we talk about that as a lot. So when you're getting started, showing up is the key, but reflecting is absolutely crucial, and reflecting in the sense of like how do you move your own goalposts to not get complacent when you start to improve. And like when you put something new in, cold showers for me this year, for instance, trying to get them locked in. And I bring that up a lot because it's one of the biggest things. Like I hated the cold so much.
I still do.
Yeah, no, like I don't like it, but like the benefits kind of outweigh the cons, and like the mental battle. I really enjoy it, but the reflecting on it, like once I got into the habit of it, it got to the end of my day where I was like lay down on a day that I didn't because I just was standing in the shower. I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do it today. Why? And like at the end of the day, you stand there and you reflect on it. And you're like, well, I set out to do this. I had the opportunity to do this. I've been really good at doing this. What made me think it was okay? Did I think like I'd gotten good enough or I'd moved far enough that I didn't have to do it? And that's like where you start hearing things like back to the basics, and all of these things, they're all centered around this idea of like reflection and moving your goalposts. So I get complacent in the gym every once in a while where I'll see myself doing the exact same thing, and like it's great I shut up, it's great I put in some work, but where is my progress? Does it align with my goals? Does it align with what I'm trying to do? I don't know. Is that something you kind of run into ever, Dill?
Well, one thing that I've noticed in all of this lovely self-development work is when we implement all of these new habits, whether it be thought habits, physical habits, whatever, I know with myself, I get stagnant. I just start going through the motions. So like, for example, meditating every morning, great practice. But if you decide to meditate for 10 minutes every single morning, for myself, it became monotonous. I just was going through the motions just because I said I was doing it, and I wasn't going into it with a purpose. Instead of changing it up a little bit where, changing the type of meditation or something like, a big one is consumption of knowledge that I had issues with. And so I set a goal for myself to at least listen to one audiobook a week. And I found myself really enjoying consuming all of this knowledge and information to go back and be like, I didn't actually absorb anything I read out of that book. I was just listening to the book solely for the sake of listening to the book, not with its intended purpose of learning from the book. And so I find for myself, it's one thing to do something, but it's another thing to do it intentionally. And when I got into this, I heaped so much onto my plate with the self-development to just do all of the things. Then I was sitting in a constant state of overwhelm. And then I was getting down on myself, like, oh man, I can't not do this now. I'm going to be behind. And then I've been creating my own chaos when it was completely unnecessary. So,
no, 100%. And like, I kind of get into the same routine, right? Like I get into a routine where I'm like reading, hammering through books, hammering through podcasts, blah, 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 blah. And now I've kind of gotten to a point where it's like, it can do a week of consumption and then a week of application.
Yeah.
And that, what that does is allows me to take like the important things that I learned and implement them to my lifestyle. And if they don't work, well, I know, and maybe they'll work for someone else, but at least I've tried it. I have a lot more insight and things like that. And I know, like, one of the main books that I talked about a lot, I posted about a lot, is that Boundless book that I brought up with you. And
Yeah.
that, like, I've been chipping away at that thing for like 9 months. And like implementing a couple things here, going back and rereading chapters, and that's what it kind of comes back to, that reflection. It's like, okay, this works. Can I make it better? This is going to fit my life. How do I make sure that I'm doing it, like you said, with a purpose? And that's, I think, a big thing, all the way down to the programs that we design for anyone we work with, or the programs that we design for ourselves. It has to fit your lifestyle. You can't, like, we've talked about it before, white knuckle and like trying to ram a square peg in a round hole, essentially, when the program just doesn't fit the lifestyle, or the outcome of it doesn't fit the lifestyle that you're after. It's not like you're spinning your wheels. It's just that the effort that you're putting in could be placed somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the only way you get to that is reflection. So, but in regards to moving goalposts, what have you found to be the best, like, reset switch where you kind of, when you get into that chaos state, how do you get back on track with upping your average or moving forward?
So to get myself back on track, I do now reassess and be like, okay, is what I'm doing with a purpose, or am I doing this just because I think I should be? And then reminding myself that I'm a fucking human and not a machine, because even when I first started this self-development stuff, I was still trying to train like a competitive powerlifter. That doesn't work. I don't have 3 hours, 6 days a week to train as a powerlifter anymore. So I find that when revisiting those landmarks, it's really important to reassess where our priorities are. So a fitness, of course, is still a priority in my life, but I just adjusted how I was implementing it. So instead of training for 3 hours competitive-wise, I make sure I get at least an hour, 3 to 4 days a week of hypertrophy training, something where I feel good. Yup, I trained, I have mental clarity, and I don't feel like I'm giving up on the fitness. It's just not fulfilling that athletic need that I had now. But in doing so and realizing the why behind I was doing things, I also discovered that I was identifying myself as a powerlifter, not Dylan who powerlifts. So it was actually a toxic attachment habit that I created to the sport that I love. And don't get me wrong, I still love powerlifting, but it was not necessary for me to stick to that style of training for where I'm currently going in my life.
And I mean, same thing for like me when it came from getting out of hockey and all that, and like I played hockey for so long, and you get to the point where it's attached to a part of who you are. A lot of other athletes, especially when they come out of like high school or early 20s, they kind of have that weird gap where it's like, I'm a hockey player, but I haven't actually played for 5 years. So like you're missing that identity portion, which in turn I talk a lot about with performance. Like you lose that performance aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And like even with yourself, the powerlifting, like that was a performance for you. You got to go to meets, you got to be competitive, you got to like tap into all these things that you are, because you are competitive, you are self-driven, you're strong as shit. So like, that's where you get to go do this stuff, right? And the same thing, like when you're playing sports, right? That's your performance aspect. So when we talk about getting in and working out and training, doing these things, we need to establish a performance aspect. Whereas for you, it'd be like your why, your purpose. Whereas for me, it'd be like, no, like what's my performance? And for most of us now, our performance is not 1 hour in the gym. It's 23 hours that we're living a life, right? Like you're performing for the rest of the day. And that's where lifestyle habits, discomfort in a cold freaking shower, And everything along those lines comes in is like we need to start shifting our mindset instead of making our whole life centered around our 1 hour. It's we need to make that 1 hour better for the rest of our life. So that's like honestly that's the last thing I want to get on, but reflecting to like understand your strengths and your weaknesses, and did your day coincide with either one? And I think that's all I really wanted to talk about today, because I know like reflection is an endless topic. It gives us the ability to constantly move our goalposts to progress further. And we both know that like progress is not linear. By no means am I saying week over week, endlessly, you're going to be like going up. And then when you have an off week, it's a bad thing. The whole thing is to reflect and understand that you can grow on like a long-term scale. And I call it upping your average, right? Like you're going to have lows, you're going to have highs, but we want to make sure your highs keep going up and your lows don't go as low. So through habits and conditioning and learning about yourself, which is an endless journey as far as that goes, is kind of the key to that, like upping your average. And I can't be thankful enough for the stuff that I've stumbled across the books, podcasts, things you've sent me that have really helped me continue to move those goalposts. As far, yeah, and like health wise, looking forward rather than looking back is such a massive thing. Instead of being like, oh, I used to be an athlete, I used to be in shape. It's like, okay, well, I don't play sports anymore, but what I'm going to do is go be in better shape than I've ever been in, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, like that's kind of what it means to me, and that's something I really wanted to share and discuss. As far as you go, do you want to add anything to the end of that?
Well, as we both know, personal development in all aspects of life is important. However, if at the end of the day you are, or we are getting down on ourselves because we didn't get everything done that we think we should be getting done, we're doing it wrong. We shouldn't feel a constant state of overwhelm at the end of the day. If we've accomplished anything, it's a matter of looking at the positives and being proud of like, fuck yeah, I got this done. I didn't get this other thing I wanted to get done today, but I always have tomorrow to do it as well. And I know that's a problem for myself. I am horrible for piling my plate up with everything and anything under the sun that needs to get done, and then lying to myself that, yeah, I'm going to get all this done today. No.
I would challenge that, though, a little bit. I would challenge that a touch, because if you're going to do that, at the end of the day, with reflection, you need to be able to say, hey, why didn't I get this done? It could be as simple as, hey, I took on too much today.
Yep.
Right? You have to add that last part in, is what happened. And
that's
beyond that, it's what
I take on too much every single day.
Exactly. So like next time we have this chat, it's like, hey, I took on too much. It's like, okay, what are you going to do differently next time? Like, what are you going to do to make sure you don't take on too much? Or when you realize you've taken on too much, how do you do that for yourself, right? You've got to take it those 2 steps in reflection, or you run into the same thing over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
I can't feel my body.
Yeah, I can't feel my ass anymore either. So I think we're at time anyways. So
absolutely.
Take care, everyone. Don't forget, this will be uploaded to YouTube. Please like, subscribe, share, send it to somebody who, even if you think they're going to get a laugh out of the entertainment of us putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations, every little bit of interaction from you is appreciated and helped us out tremendously with the algorithms. You guys all know it's just, we appreciate it. We do.
Absolutely. And we're going to keep pumping these things out, and we're going to have drinks next time. So, yeah.
yes, we will. All right, man.
Take care. All right, catch you later.
Take care, all of Instagram, YouTube, Facebook world. Bye.